Hello learners, welcome to Drishti CUET undergraduate program and I am your mentor Shashank welcoming you all in today's session. So learners, in today's session I will be discussing with you Delhi Sultanate, and in this session I will be discussing with you the important rulers of Delhi Sultanate. First of all guys, in the last session we discussed about Mamluk dynasty, and after Mamluk dynasty a new dynasty came in power, that was Khilji dynasty. And Khilji dynasty, as I have told you in the introduction session of Delhi Sultanate, that was the shortest ruling dynasty. So approximately for a period of around 30 years they ruled. So they started ruling from 1290 and their time went up to 1320. So Khilji dynasty was shortest ruling dynasty, and the founder of that dynasty was Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji. Now Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji guys, he was coronated after the death of Kamurs, after the death of Shamsuddin Kakubad and Kamurs. Then he became the ruler, and the Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, he was assassinated by his own nephew who later became his son-in-law, that was Alauddin Khilji. So the most important ruler of this Khilji dynasty, that was Alauddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji guys, he was the most important ruler, and he was nephew. Then he became son-in-law of Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji. So later he became son-in-law of Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, and what he did, he killed his uncle, that was Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, who later became his father-in-law to become Sultan. So to become Sultan, what he did, so Alauddin Khilji, he killed his father-in-law, that was Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, to become the next Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. Now guys, Alauddin Khilji, he ruled from 1296 to 1316. So Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, he ruled from 1290 till 1296. So just for a period of 6 years he ruled to Delhi Sultanate, and after this Alauddin Khilji became the ruler. And the real name of Alauddin Khilji was Ali Gurshab, and he was completely illiterate Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. So he was completely illiterate Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. So he was complete illiterate means he neither knew how to read and how to write. So he was completely illiterate Sultan of Delhi Sultanate, and his real name was Ali Gurshab. Now guys, when Alauddin Khilji became the ruler of Delhi Sultanate, there was a friend of him whose name was Alaul Mulk. Sir, there was a friend of him whose name was Alaul Mulk. So he said to Alaul Mulk that he has two ambitions. First ambition, that he wanted to conquer the world. So he told his friend Alaul Mulk about his two ambitions. Two ambitions. First one was to conquer the world, and second was to start a new religion. So he wishes to conquer the world, therefore he adopted the title. Therefore he adopted the title of Sikandar Sani. So he adopted the title of Sikandar Sani, means second Alexander. As it is said that Alexander conquered maximum areas of the world, so he also wanted to be like him. So he adopted the title of Sikandar Sani, means second Alexander. So he assumed the title of Sikandar Sani, and that means second Alexander. Second Alexander. Other than this guys, he wanted to start a new religion. Now his friend Alaul Mulk said that okay my dear friend, you want to conquer the world, so that's very good, but still you have not conquered the South India. So if you have not conquered India, then how you can think of the world? So first of all, try to conquer the India and then you should go outside the world. So that ignited the sense of going to South India for Alauddin Khilji. So that inspired Alauddin to conquer South India. So that inspired Alauddin to conquer South India. And when he said that he wanted to start a new religion, so his friend Alaul Mulk said that you are not prophet at all. So you cannot start a religion, and if you will wish to start, then you will face the opposition of the ulemas, that is the Islamic scholar. So he said that you are not prophet, that you are not prophet. So none of the people will accept your religion, and you will face opposition from the ulema. You will face opposition from ulemas. Ulemas, they are Islamic scholars. So they are Islamic scholars. So you will face opposition of ulema. So do not think to start any new religion. So he said that okay, I will not start any new religion. Other than this, guys, when Alauddin became the Sultan, what he did, first of all, he said that the religion should be separated from politics. So first of all, guys, he propagated that religion should be separated from the politics and declared that kingdom has no kinship, or simply you can say that kingdom has no kinship, and that is also known as kingship knows no kinship. So he said that kingship knows no kinship, and he also separated politics from religion. How he separated politics from religion? See what happened, guys, there is an Islamic tax which was called khams. Khams, it is also known as Male Ganimat, because it was the amount that is captured from booty. So whenever the Delhi Sultanate, they used to attack on another empire, so they used to capture the area and they start plundering the area, and whatever the amount they get, that was being known as khams. So that was being known as khams. And according to the Islamic tradition, according to the Islamic laws, according to the Islamic laws, how khams was divided? So how khams was divided? Khams, that was amount captured from booty. Amount, that means amount from booty. So according to the Islamic laws, 4/5 of the khams was distributed to soldiers, and 1/5 part of the khams was being taken by Sultan. But Alauddin Khilji did a new method, that is 1/5, 4/5 to Sultan and 1/5 to the soldiers who were involved in the expedition. So Alauddin Khilji reversed this thing, and when the Islamic scholars, that is ulema, said that what you have done, this is not according to the Islamic laws. According to the Islamic laws, 4/5 of the khams, that is 80% of the khams, will be distributed to the soldiers who are involved in that expedition, and 1/5 will be kept by Sultan. So he said that please keep religion away from politics, because I have to run the whole empire. So he reversed this thing and said that 4/5 of the khams will be kept by Sultan and 1/5 of the khams will be distributed to the soldiers. So that was against the Islamic laws. Therefore, he said that the religion should be separated from politics, and he also said that kingship knows no kinship. Why? Because the people, they used to say that Alauddin Khilji is not the real contender of the throne. He is not real successor. So in order to take the possession of the throne, he killed his father-in-law, who was earlier his uncle. So it is said that the daughter of Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, her name was Mehru, and she was married to Alauddin Khilji. Now guys, it is said that Alauddin Khilji said that my uncle, who later became my father-in-law, was not a capable ruler. So he was not a capable ruler, and the Sultanate is always safe in the hand of capable ruler. If it is being held by any weak ruler, definitely the foreigners, they are going to invade that kingdom, and that kingdom will be devastated. So simply he said that kingship knows no kinship. Simply that means the throne should be held by a strong ruler. The throne should be held by a strong ruler, so that the kingdom will be safeguarded. To safeguard the kingdom, to safeguard the kingdom, it will be held by the strong ruler. And other than this, guys, since Alauddin Khilji wanted to invade in south, that was being ignited in his mind by his friend Alaul Mulk, and to go in south, what he needed a large army. And how this large army will be maintained? It will be maintained through the money. So what happened, guys, in order to increase the collection of the empire, in order to increase the tax collection of the empire, so that empire will get more money, what he did, he imposed two new taxes. So in order to increase the collection of tax to maintain a huge army, to maintain large army, he introduced two new tax, that is called house tax, which is known as ghari. And then he introduced the tax on pasture land, this is called charai. Charai means it is the area where the animals goes for grazing. So pasture land, it is an area where animals go for grazing. So it is the area where animals go for grazing, that is called pasture land. So he introduced two new taxes, that is called ghari and charai. And what happened, guys, ki after introduction of these two new taxes, it was being seen that the tax burden on the people of Delhi Sultanate, that increased. So in order to facilitate the payment of the tax, he started a new department. So in order to facilitate in order to facilitate the tax, in order to facilitate the payment of tax by people, he started a new department that was called Diwan-e-Must-Kharaz. So he started a new department that was called Diwan-e-Must-Kharaz. Diwan-e-Must-Kharaz, guys, it was department of arrear. So that was department of arrears, and he that used to take care ki whether the amount is there, and it was being how much amount is due, and it was, guys, being done so that the tax burden of the people, so that the people of Delhi Sultanate, they do not feel the tax burden, and it will be easy for them to pay the tax on regular intervals. I hope it is clear. I hope, guys, that is clear to all of you. So that was Diwan-e-Must-Kharaz, that was Department of Arrears, and it was started by Alauddin Khilji so that the people of his empire should not feel the burden of the tax, and they can pay the tax easily, and any type of situation of chaos can be avoided. Now, guys, let's come to the reforms of the Alauddin Khilji, and first of all, guys, we will be discussing the military reforms. Now, guys, Alauddin Khilji, during his time, guys, maximum Mongol attack happened. So during the time of Alauddin Khilji, during the time of Alauddin Khilji, maximum Mongol attack happened. So maximum Mongol attack happened. And it is said that ki Mongols, they attacked 7 times. They attacked 7 times during the time of Delhi of Alauddin Khilji, and for them, he, just to safeguard Delhi, he constructed Siri Fort. So just to safeguard Delhi from attack of Mongols, he constructed Siri Fort. So he constructed Siri Fort in Delhi region. Other than other than this, Alauddin was the first Sultan who formed a standing army. Standing army means regular and permanent army. So who formed a standing army, that is called regular and permanent army. So he was the first Sultan who made regular and permanent army, so that whenever there is a situation of war or any other emergency, the army should be ready for the war. So that army should be ready before the war. And earlier the Sultan, they were dependent upon the army of their iqtidar. So they were dependent upon the army of their iqtidar, ki whenever they need army, the iqtidar used to send their troops for the expedition or protection. But he was the first Sultan who understood the importance of permanent army, so he kept standing army, and that army was that army was faithful to Sultan. That army was faithful to Sultan. And earlier what used to happen, ki the army that was sent by the Mansabdars and all, so they were faithful to the Mansabdars. They were faithful to the Mansabdars, or they were faithful to the Iqtidar. At that point of time there was no Mansabdar, so they were faithful to the Iqtidars. But when Alauddin kept his own permanent army, and that army was always faithful for the Sultan, ki whenever any, you can say, iqtidar, or whenever any noble, they tried to revolt against the ruler, so at that point of time he used to keep his army to suppress the revolt. I hope it is clear ki what was the difference, why at that point of time there was also army, but that army was maintained by the nobles or the iqtidar. But he was the first Sultan who maintained army for himself, and that army was always loyal and faithful towards Sultan. Next important thing was that ki he was the first Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who paid salary of the soldiers in cash. So earlier what used to happen, so they were being paid salary in kind, and he was the person who paid salary in cash. And the salary of a soldier was 238 tanka per annum. So the salary of the soldier was 238 tanka per annum, and the soldier who used to maintain horse, some extra amount was given to him for maintenance of that horse. So those soldiers who were cavalry, who were mounted on cavalry, that means who used to maintain horse, some extra amount was given for maintenance of that horse. Other than this in order to protect the Sultanate, he started Dag system and Hulia system. Dag means stamping of horse. Stamping of horse, so that the horse should not be resold in the market. So Dag system has two benefits: not to resell the horse, to avoid reselling of the horse, and other than this the horse should not be sold. Horse should not be sold in place of mule. Horse should not be sold in place of mule. And Hulia system, Hulia what means? Writing the physical appearance of soldier, because at that point of time there was no concept of photograph. So what he used to do, so he used to write the physical appearance of soldier. So he used to write the physical appearance of the soldiers, that the soldiers should go and involve themselves in war, because what used to happen when there was no physical appearance that was written for the soldier, what used to happen? What used to happen? The thing that used to happen was, guys, the thing used to happen that they used to send the slaves of their home for the war purpose, and since the slaves, they do not know the art of warfare, so they were killed very easily during the war. And finally the soldiers, they used to remain in the house and they used to live the life with luxury. So he started writing the physical appearance of the soldier, so that the soldier should participate in the war, they should not send the slaves of their home for the purpose of war. I hope it's clear. So that was the reform which was much ahead of his time, and you cannot expect this type of reforms from a sultan who is completely illiterate. So he was a sultan with different good qualities. So he has a very bright and big vision. Other than this, guys, he was the first sultan of the Delhi Sultanate who conquered South India. So he was the first sultan who conquered the South India, and at that point of time, guys, army of Alauddin Khilji was taken by Malik Kafur. So his military commander who took the army, who took the army to south, was Malik Kafur. And who was Malik Kafur, guys? I will tell you. But after the death of Alauddin Khilji, guys, the empire of the south, which was owned by him, again they became independent. So when Alauddin Khilji died, what happened? The empires that was owned by him, they again became independent. So I hope it is clear. But he was the first sultan in Delhi Sultanate who went and invaded the South India. Is that clear, guys? And the army went under the leadership of Malik Kafur. And who was Malik Kafur? That I will discuss within a while. Now I hope, guys, is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you, guys? Okay, now let's come to the next thing, that is about the market reform. So now let's discuss about the market reform of Alauddin Khilji. What was the market reforms of him? Now, guys, why he introduced market reform? Because he has to take army to the south, and he was not as such a ruler who will pay hefty amount in form of salary to the soldiers. So in order that the soldiers, a simple soldier, can maintain his lifestyle properly, a simple soldier can also maintain his lifestyle properly, he introduced market reforms so that the price of goods, they become so much cheap, so that a simple soldier can easily afford a standard living, and he should concentrate in war rather than thinking for the family. So he introduced this market reform. The objective was military, but in the course the reform happened. So the major objective of market reform was to provide easy lifestyle to soldiers, because he wanted to take army, because the soldiers were going to South India for the expedition, and if the rate of goods and services will be cheap, so the soldiers will focus on war. So they will focus on war rather than household course. Therefore, he introduced the market reform. Major objective was to provide a easy lifestyle to the soldiers, so that they can concentrate on war rather than thinking about the well-being of their family. If I am getting a very limited amount, so how my family will survive? So if I am getting a limited amount, how my family will survive. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you guys? Now, see, first of all, what he did, so he was the first, he was the Sultan who was famous for his market control policy, and he established Diwan-e-Riyasat, that was a new department. He established a new department called Diwan-e-Riyasat. And Diwan-e-Riyasat, what type of department it was? So it was a marketing department, and they used to fix they used to fix the price of goods and services. They used to fix the price of goods and services, and none of the shopkeepers, they were allowed to sold on higher price. So none of the shopkeepers, they were allowed to sell their products on higher price. They were not allowed to sell the product on the higher price. Other than this, he also appointed a marketing officer, marketing inspector. So he also appointed a marketing inspector, and the name of the marketing inspector was 𝗕cie And 𝗕cie he used to ensure that the shopkeepers, they are selling the products on the price which was fixed by the Sultanate or not. Now guys, when shopkeepers saw that, they cannot sell the price of the product, they cannot sell the product more than the price mentioned by the Sultanate. So they found an alternative way. So what happened guys, ki the soldiers, the shopkeepers, they started weighing less for the product. For example, if a person demands 1 kg of ghee, just an example, and the price of the ghee is 10 tankas. Now, whatever may be the demand of the ghee, you cannot increase the price. So what you will do, so you will start giving 900 grams and will be taking 10 tanka instead of giving 1000 gram. So when this thing was heard by Alauddin Khilji through his marketing inspector 𝗕cie, now the shopkeepers, they are weighing less, they are showing dishonesty, and in order to make the profit. So what happened, my dear learners, Alauddin Khilji appointed Barid. Alauddin Khilji appointed spies. They were called Barid, in order to check the dishonesty of a shopkeeper, in order to check the dishonesty of shopkeepers. In order to check the dishonesty of shopkeepers. Now what these Barid used to do, they used to take any product from randomly from any of the shopkeeper, and then they used to take that product in the royal court, and then they used to weight that product. Now if the product weighs less, then that much, that the difference between the weight of the product, for that the same amount of flesh that was being taken off from the body. For example, my dear learners, if Barid has asked for 1 kg of ghee, and the shopkeeper has given him 900 gram of ghee for 10 tankas, so 100 gram flesh will be taken out from the body of shopkeeper. Now when this type of harsh punishment was given to shopkeepers, so shopkeepers, they became panic and they started giving more, so that by the time if the things get lost during the transit, then they should not face this type of harmful consequences. So guys, you will find that So you will find that in order to do this thing, the shopkeepers, they became panic and started doing the same course. Other than this, guys, for market, for the betterment of the market condition, he constituted three types of market. First was market of food grains. Second was market of clothes, and these clothes used to have regular clothes and expensive clothes. So both regular and expensive clothes, they were sold in the market. And next was market of animals and slaves. So market of animals and slaves, these three types of market was being constituted. Is that clear to all of you guys? Then do let me know. Is that clear to all of you guys? Then do let me know. Okay. Now let's come to the next reform, guys. Now you will find that during his time period, Malik Kafur, who was the military commander who took the army to the south. Now Malik Kafur, guys, he was being purchased by one of his military commanders, that was Nusrat Khan. So Malik Kafur, he was a transgender who was purchased by his military commander, who are purchased by military commander of Alauddin Khilji, that was Nusrat Khan from Khambhat, from Cambay. Cambay, it is called Khambhat in Gujarat. And he was purchased after paying 1000 dinar. Dinar means gold coin. Gold coins. Therefore, Malik Kafur was also known as Hazar Dinari. So he was also known as Hazar Dinari because he was purchased by Nusrat Khan after paying 1000 dinar, and Nusrat Khan gifted Hazar Dinari. He gifted Hazar Dinari to Alauddin Khilji. So he gifted Hazar Dinari to Alauddin Khilji, and from then he was very close to Alauddin Khilji, and he was a very capable military commander as well. I hope it is clear. Okay, now guys, let's come to the next ruler, that is about the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So after guys, you will find that after Khilji dynasty, another dynasty came into power, that was Tughlaq dynasty, and Tughlaq dynasty was longest ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate. They ruled from 1320 till 1414. So almost for a period of 94 years they ruled Delhi Sultanate, and you will find that ki maximum expansion. So Tughlaq dynasty that ruled from 1320 till 1414 AD. So they were maximum ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate. Maximum ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, and they ruled for almost 94 years. And you will find that, my dear learners, ki this Tughlaq dynasty, during the Tughlaq dynasty there was maximum expansion of Delhi Sultanate. So there was maximum expansion of Delhi Sultanate, and Delhi Sultanate properly went till South India. and this Delhi Sultanate went up to South India. So this Delhi Sultanate went to South India as well. So this Delhi Sultanate went up to South India. Although they went to South India during the time of Alauddin Khilji also, but after death of Alauddin Khilji, the kingdoms of the south, they again became independent. So what happened ki during the time of Tughlaq dynasty, they regained the control. Tughlaq dynasty, they regained the control, and the founder of Tughlaq dynasty, guys, that was Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. So Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, who was also known as Ghazi Malik, and Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, guys, he was famous for the rivalry with Nizamuddin Aulia. So he was famous for rivalry with Nizamuddin Aulia, who was a Sufi saint, and for him Nizamuddin Aulia said that Hanuz Delhi dur ast, that is, Delhi is still far. And it is said that, guys, ki after the assassination, it is said that ki after assassination, because it was like a pre-planned murder of Jalal of the father of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that was Ghazi Malik or Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. His son Ghayasuddin Tughlaq became the ruler. So it is his son Muhammad bin Tughlaq became the ruler. So founder of this dynasty was Ghayasuddin. Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, and he ruled from 1320 to 1325. So guys, it is said that ki Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, he was killed. He was killed, guys. It is said that there was a rest house of wood that was made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq with the help of an architect called 𝗕mise. And what happened, guys, after the rest house of that wood was being made, so parade of elephant was did, and due to the movement of the elephant, what happened, due to the movement of the elephant, vibrations started getting created, and finally the wooden rest place, finally the wooden rest place that fell on Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. So that wooden rest place fell on Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, and Ghayasuddin Tughlaq died. So wooden rest place fell on Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, and Ghayasuddin Tughlaq died. And when Ghayasuddin Tughlaq died, guys, his son Jona Khan became the ruler, and this wooden place was made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, whose name was Jona Khan, and also with the help of Ahmad Ayaz. So with the help of Ahmad Ayaz, Jona Khan, who later became Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he constructed this rest house, and that rest house fell on Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, so he died, and Ghayasuddin Tughlaq was also known as Ghazi Malik. Ghayasuddin Tughlaq was also known as Ghazi Malik, guys. Now, the real name of next, Muhammad bin Tughlaq became the ruler, and he became ruler from 1325 till 1351. So almost for a period of almost 26 years, he became the ruler, and his real name was Jona Khan. So his real name was Jona Khan, and when he became ruler, when he became Sultan, he adopted the name, he adopted the name Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he adopted the name Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and historians call him foolish or mad sultan. So historians called him foolish or mad sultan because he did wrong experiments, because all the experiments of him failed, and he was most literate sultan, most literate sultan of Delhi Sultanate. So he was most literate Sultan of Delhi Sultanate, and whatever the decisions that was being taken by him for the betterment of his empire, that all failed. And if I tell you the reason ki why they failed, because they were all taken, although the decisions were right, but it was not implemented properly and were taken on the wrong time. So the most important part was ki the thinking was good, but the decisions were not implemented properly. They were not implemented properly, and therefore they were not implemented properly, and decisions were correct, but it was taken on wrong time. Taken on wrong time. Taken on wrong time, therefore all decisions failed, all the experiments failed, and he was called foolish and mad Sultan by historians. So foolish or mad Sultan by historians of his time. Historians of his time. So historians of his time called him mad and foolish Sultan, and he was the Sultan who was fond of celebrating Holi. So he was fond of celebrating Holi, and he used to call Holi by name of Eid-e-Gulabi. So he used to call Holi by name of Eid-e-Gulabi. So I hope guys, is that clear to all of you? Then do let me know. Then we'll move to the next thing to discuss. Is that clear to all? Now next we have ki let's discuss the failed projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So let's discuss the failed projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now first of all guys, he increased in the tax of Doab area. So Doab guys, it is a region between two water bodies, and that was the Doab of Ganga and Yamuna, and this Ganga Yamuna Doab was very fertile. Now during the time period, what happened guys, ki the production was very poor because the area was hit by drought and the production was very poor. Although he increased the tax, and he thought that ki the Doab, it is a very fertile area, so the farmers can easily pay the tax, and it was true as well. But when this decision was being implemented, at that point of time the production of the crops was very poor, and farmers, they were not in a position to pay the new amount of tax or the new structure of tax. So what happened ki the tax officers who went to collect the tax, they were beaten, and also the farmers set fire on the standing crops, that was a little bit of crops that was being grown. So farmers, they put on fire to the standing crops which was little bit grown, and then they beaten up the tax officers as well. So when Muhammad bin Tughlaq understood the whole scenario, then he thought that he should not increase the tax in Doab region, because the farmers, they were not in such a situation to pay it. Therefore, for a betterment of agriculture, he started a new department. So for betterment of agriculture, he started new department that was called Diwan-e-Kohi. So this was called Diwan-e-Kohi, that was agriculture. This was called agriculture department. Then guys, what he did, he changed the capital, or he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. He shifted the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. Devgiri guys, it is in Maharashtra, and he named the place as Daulatabad, and he renamed the place as Daulatabad. He renamed this place as Daulatabad. Now guys, what happened ki when he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devgiri, what was the reason? According to some of the historians, what happened ki the people of Delhi, they used to write foul letters to him in which he was being scolded for killing his father. That was that was Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. Another group of historians, they said that when Muhammad bin Tughlaq won some parts of the South India, he wanted to create a base in South, so he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. Now, when he shifted the capital in Devgiri, which was in Maharashtra, obviously it is a Deccan Plateau area, there was problem of water plus problem of agriculture, because you will find coarse crop, you will not find regular crops like wheat and rice. And the rivers were also perennial, non-perennial in nature, due to which the agriculture suffered adversely, and he was very far from Delhi as well. And if any foreign invasion happens from the northwestern side to Delhi, it was obvious that he will not reach Delhi on time, and it may be possible that he will lose Delhi. So the security advisors of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, when they gave him these type of reasons ki why he should come back to Delhi, then he thought that ki definitely they are saying right. So what he did, so he again shifted the capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. So once he took capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, and on advice of his security advisors, he again shifted the capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. So that was the wastage of money that he did in shifting the capital for once. He could have understood the situations properly before transferring the capital. So second was also there. Other than this, there was circulation of token currency. Now guys, token currency, he introduced the coins made up of copper and brass instead of gold and silver. Copper and brass instead of gold and silver, because at that point of time there was heavy shortage of silver throughout the world. So he thought that he should not waste gold and silver in making coins, rather than he will use cheap metal copper and brass that for making the coin. Now guys, what happened ki when he introduced the token currency that is made up of copper and brass, he did not put any specific mark of identification or a strong specific mark of identification to identify, to stop the forging of the coins, Now it is said that ki the mark of identification that was very simple and it can be copied easily. So according to Ziauddin Barni, he wrote that ki during the time period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the household of every Hindu became a mint house. So the Hindus, especially the Hindu population, they have the utensils of copper and brass that is being widely used in their home. So they melted the utensils of copper and brass and started making duplicate coins, and they circulated in the market. So the situation of hyperinflation came, and hyperinflation, it is a situation when there is supply of money which is more than required. So supply of money is more than the demand of money. So you will find that, my dear learners, that money supply became more, and the supply of money became more and the demand of money was less. So hyperinflationary situation came. And when this thing was being seen by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, so he ordered again to deposit the currency of copper and brass and take away the currency of gold and silver. So those people, they have fake currency, or they have fake currency with them, so they also deposited that fake currency and took back the original currency. So this also failed because that was not being properly executed, and the mark of identification that was being put on the coin, it was very easy for to copy. So the whole market was flooded with the fake currency, and due to which he has to give the orders to take back. Other than this guys, next is Khorasan expedition. Khorasan, it is a place in Iran. So Khorasan guys, it's a place in Iran. So what happened ki two of the ministers from Khurasan, they came in court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and they said to Muhammad bin Tughlaq that ki now Khurasan is politically disturbed, so you should raise an army and win Khurasan. But and this thing was, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he got this idea ki okay, let's go away from India. So he raised an army, maintained that army of around 3 lakh soldiers, and paid salary of 1 year in advance, so that the army should go to fight Khurasan. By the time he was raising the army, Khurasan again became politically stable, and then he has to leave the idea to attack Khurasan, because now if you will go Khurasan, definitely you will be defeated. So he left the idea of attack, and then he dismantled the army, and whatever the amount that was given to soldiers as a advance payment, the soldiers did not return that amount. So the big amount was also lost, and finally you will find that finally they were not in a position to go to Khurasan as well. So the whole pending on Khurasan expedition became useless. Other than this, next we have Karachil expedition, and Karachil, guide, it is a place in Himachal Pradesh. Now what happened, guys, ki in Karachil, that was the border between the Delhi Sultanate, and you will find some Chinese Mongol, they used to be there. So some Chinese Mongols, they used to be there. So what happened ki these Mongols, they came in the Khurasan Karachil area, and they disturbed law and order. When this thing was heard by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he sent army to suppress the disturbance. But when the expedition started, that was the time of monsoon. So monsoon started, and during the time period of monsoon, you will find that the army of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they have to face natural calamity, because once they were going from the forest area, you will find that wild animals will attack. Other than the area will be flooded with the water, so reptiles, they will come out from their dwelling place. So there was too much problem while going to Khurasan. While going to Karachil. So before going to Karachil, they came back from the way, because due to the weather phenomena, due to the natural calamities, they were not being able to go up and suppress the conditions of Karachil. So the army did not went Karachil, and from the midway they came back. So this is how, guys, this Karachil expedition also ended. I hope it is clear. Okay, now guys, this was about the failed projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now let's come to the next thing, that is about the agriculture. So first of all, guys, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he started a department called agricultural department, because agriculture was backbone of economic activities, because you will find maximum taxation that comes from agriculture, and that used to supply raw materials for the industry also. So he started a separate department called Diwan-e-Kohi, that was agricultural department. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq also used crop rotation method for betterment of agriculture, betterment of agriculture for betterment of agriculture, he used crop rotation method also. Other than this, he started agricultural loan called Sondhar and Takavi. So he started giving agricultural loan to the farmer, that was called Sondhar and Takavi. And during the time period, guys, in 1333, a traveler from Morocco, that is an African country, he came in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, whose name was Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was a person who has fond of traveling, and he traveled many parts of the world, and in 1333 he came India and he visited the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And it is said that guys ki Ibn Battuta was a scholar of Islamic laws. Therefore, Muhammad bin Tughlaq appointed him as a Qazi of Delhi. So Qazi means justice of Delhi, as a justice of Delhi. And he was the person who wrote a very famous book. So he wrote a book, and the name of the book is Rehala, which is also known as Safarnama, and it is written in Arabic. So it is written in Arabic language, Rehla or Safarnama. This is written in Arabic language. And you will find that, my dear learners, he was also sent. So Ibn Battuta was also sent to China by Muhammad bin Tughlaq as his ambassador, So he was also sent to China as his ambassador. So is that clear to all of you guys about Diwane Kohi and Ibn Battuta? And he was very fond of traveling, guys. Therefore, it was said that Ibn Battuta bagal mein juta. So that was called Ibn Battuta bagal mein juta because he was very fond of traveling. Is that clear to all of you guys? Is that clear to all of you? Now, let's come to the next ruler. Now that I have told you that during his time period, Ibn Battuta, he wrote a book Rehla, or that is called Kitabul Rehla in Arabic language. And during his time period in 1336, Vijayanagar kingdom was started, and that Vijayanagar kingdom was started between the south bank of river Tungabhadra, and that was being established by Harihar and Bukka, and they were siblings, and they started Sangam dynasty by the name of his father. So by the name of his father, name of the father was Sangam. So on the name of his father, both of them started Sangam dynasty, and in 1347, Alauddin Hasan Khan, who is also known as Bahman Shah, he started Bahmani kingdom. So that was between Godavari and Narmada. So that was between Narmada and Godavari. So he started this Bahmani kingdom. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq died. He died in 1351, and he died due to illness in Thatta. And Thatta, guys, it is in Sindh. So it is said that he went to suppress the revolt of his minister, who later became a revoltee whose name was Tagi or Tugril. So when he went to south due to Thatta, that is in Sindh, due to very hot climate, he suffered fever, and after which he died, and he was buried over there. So it is known as, so this is how Muhammad bin Tughlaq died. Now guys, after death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his cousin Firoz Shah Tughlaq became the ruler, and he became ruler in Sindh Thatta itself. So now guys, I will be discussing with you the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So now I will be discussing with you Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now I will be discussing with you Firoz Shah Tughlaq and he ruled from 1351 to 1388, and he was coronation was did on 23rd March 1351 in camp of Thatta with the help of a Sufi saint Nasiruddin Chirag, and Nasiruddin Chirag was from Chishti Silsila. Chishti Silsila, he was from Chishti Silsila, Sufi saint from Chishti Silsila, and he was also known as Chirag-e-Dehlvi. He was also known as Chirag-e-Dehlvi. So Sheikh Nasiruddin Chirag was also known as Chirag-e-Dehlvi. So with the help of Nasiruddin Chirag, he became the ruler, and he was cousin of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he was cousin of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and you will find that there was uncle of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is also known as written as MBT, whose name was Rajab. So Rajab was the name of uncle of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Firoz was the son of Rajab. So son of Rajab was Firoz. So this is how he became the ruler. So actually वो फिरोज शाह मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक के चाचा का बेटा था. So he was the son of uncle of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now guys, next important thing is that when he became the ruler, first of all he wanted to pacify the ulemas. So in order to justify his, in order to justify the accession of throne, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, what he did, first of all he pacified. Therefore he started pacifying Muslim ulemas. And in order to pacify the Muslim ulemas, he introduced jizya tax on Brahmins. So first of all, what he did, he introduced jizya tax on Brahmins. And Brahmins, guys, they were earlier, they were exempted from paying jizya. So Brahmins were exempted from paying jizya. Earlier Brahmins, so they were exempted from paying jizya because they were the uppermost class in the Hindu society. Now Firoz Shah Tughlaq wanted that in order to pacify the ulemas, either the Muslims, either the Brahmins, they will pay jizya. Either the Brahmins, they will pay jizya so that the income of the empire will increase. Or other than this, if they are not willing to pay jizya, they will convert themselves in Islam. And if they will convert themselves in Islam, it will be better, it will be easy for him to convert the other peoples of Hinduism into Islam, because they can say that now the Brahmins, they are accepting the religion, that means Islam is more, it is more vibrant than Hinduism, so you should also follow the vibrant, you should also follow the Islam. So then the number of followers will increase. Therefore he introduced jizya on Brahmins. So with this mindset, he introduced jizya on Brahmins. Other than this, guys, Firoz Shah Tughlaq was the person who repaired and constructed canals. He repaired and constructed canals, and he imposed a tax, and tax was called irrigation tax, that was called 𝗕que This was called 𝗕que by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So this was called 𝗕que, that was tax on irrigation, and it was, the rate was 10% of the production. Rate was 10% of production. And so that was called 𝗕cie𝘂𝗙𝘀, and this was 10% of the production that was introduced by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So Firoz, he introduced 𝗕cie𝘂𝗙𝗀, that was tax on water. Is that clear to all, guys? Is that clear to all of you? Now let's come to the next thing, that is in 1359 Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he established the city of Jaunpur. Jaunpur on the name of his brother Jauna Khan. And Jaunpur, guys, it is located in eastern UP, eastern Uttar Pradesh, and was a center of learning in medieval India. Therefore, guys, this Jaunpur was also called Shiraj-e-Hind. So this Jaunpur was also known as Shiraz-e-Hind. So this was also known as Shiraz-e-Hind. And Shiraz, guys, it was a place in Iran. It was a place in Iran famous for learning and education. Therefore, it was called Shiraz-e-Hind. And you will find that other than Jaunpur, you will find other cities that was being constructed by him was Hisar, Firozpur, Jaunpur, Fatehabad, Hisar, Firoza, Firozpur, Jaunpur, Fatehabad. So these were the cities that was constructed by him. Other than, guys, Firoz, first of all, he ordered 2 inscription of Ashok to Delhi. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq bought 2 inscription of Ashok from Delhi. One he went called from Meerut and second was from Topra. So one he called from Meerut, second was from Topra, and Topra, guys, it is near Ambala. That is in Haryana. And you will find that, guys, ki one Topra, that is near Ambala. That is Haryana, and you will find that one of the inscription that is in the Firoz, that is being installed in Firoz Shah Kotla. One of the Ashokan inscription, it is installed in Firoz Shah Kotla. This is in Firoz Shah Kotla, that is in Delhi, and another one, it is in Ridge area. Ridge area, which used to be the hunting ground. So earlier that used to be hunting ground. That used to be hunting ground, and this is installed where? So this is installed in, right now it is in Delhi University area. So this was in Delhi University. I hope, guys, is that clear to all of you? So I hope it is clear to all of you, guys, which are about the important rulers of the Delhi Sultanate. Now let's come to the next thing about the names of the department that was started by him. So guys, Firoz Shah Tughlaq himself was not involved in the military expedition, so he devoted his time for construction of his empire properly. So first of all guys, he established Diwane Bandagan. Diwane Bandagan, Bandagan word is derived from Banda, and Banda means slave. So Diwan word is derived from Banda, and Banda means slave. So Diwane Bandagan, that was Department of Slave. Next we have Diwane Khairat. Diwane Khairat, Khairat means charity. Banda means slave. Khairat means charity. Then Darul Shifa. Shifa means to cure. So Darul Shifa. Shifa means to cure. And that was cureness is done in hospital. So it was a charitable hospital. And then you have Diwane Ishtiyaq. Diwane Ishtiyaq was like a pension department. So this was like a pension department. So these are the new departments that was created by Muhammad bin Tughlaq in order to make his kingdom more progressive. And he also introduced the two coins called Adha and Bikha. Adha means half Jital and Bikha means 1/4 Jital. And these coins were made up of alloy of copper and bronze. So they were made up of alloy of copper and bronze. So they were made up of alloy of copper and bronze. And Firoz Shah Tughlaq was the only Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who wrote his autobiography, that was by the name of Futuhat e Firoz Shahi. So that was by the name of Futuhat e Firoz Shahi. And you will find that he also, during his time period, there was a very famous historian was in his court, and the name of the historian was Ziauddin Barni. And Ziauddin Barni, he wrote Tarikh-e Firoz Shahi. So Ziauddin Barni wrote Tarikh-e Firoz Shahi, and it is written in which language? So it is both written in Persian language. So both written in Persian language, and it is said that ki Firoz Shah Tughlaq died in 1388. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq died in 1388. I hope guys, is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you guys? Then do let me know. Now see what happened guys, ki after this, the next ruler we are going to, after this Sayyid dynasty came into power, but Sayyid dynasty that did not rule for a very long period. So after this Sayyid dynasty came into power 1414 to 1451. So almost for a period of 37 years they ruled Sayyid dynasty, and the Sayyid rulers, they consider themselves direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad, and the founder was Khizr Khan. And Khizr Khan guys, he never adopted the title of Sultan. He always he said that he is military commander of son of Taimur Lung, whose name was Shahrukh. So he considered himself as the military commander or Sipah Salar of Shahrukh. He did not adopted the title of Sultan. So after him Mubarak Shah, who was his son, he adopted the title of Sultan, and he patronized Yahya bin Ahmad Sarhindi, who wrote Tarikh-e Mubarak Shahi. Now guys, after this Sayyid dynasty ended, then a dynasty came in power that was called Lodi dynasty. 1451 to 1526 AD. And Lodi, they were Afghan. They were of Afghan and the founder was Behlol Khan Lodi. So founder was Behlol Khan Lodi and he was the person who annexed Jaunpur, who annexed Jaunpur from Sharqi kingdom, and he introduced a copper coin that was called Behloli. So introduced the copper coin and that copper coin was called Behloli. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Behlol Khan Lodi introduced a copper coin that was called Behloli. Is that clear, guys? Now let's come to the next ruler. So after Behlol Khan Lodi, his son Sikandar became the ruler and his real name was Nizam Khan. So Sikandar Lodi, guys, became the ruler and he became ruler in 1489 and he ruled till 1517 and his real name was Nizam Khan, or some book says Nizam Shah, and he was son of Behlol Khan, son of Behlol Khan Lodi, son of Behlol Khan Lodi, that was Nizam Khan, Nizam Shah, and he was the most powerful ruler of this Lodi dynasty, most powerful ruler of Lodi dynasty. And what, guys, he did, since he was fatanic also, so first of all what he did, he prohibited the religious visit and religious bathing of Hindu people. So in order to promote the religious fanaticism, he was a religious fanatic person, so he prohibited religious visit, that is called Tirth Yatra, and religious bathing, that is called Tirth Snan. Tirth Snan of Hindus, that was being banned by Sikandar Lodi. And also, guys, Sikandar Lodi, he was the person who established the city of Agra in 1504 in order to keep an eye on Rajput. So in order to keep an eye of Rajput rulers, in order to keep an eye on Rajput rulers, what he did, first of all, he in 1504 he created city of Agra, and in 1506 he shifted the capital to Agra. He shifted the capital to Agra. Now, in order to keep eye on Rajput, because from Agra, guys, Rajasthan is very near, and he also built city fort of Badalgarh. So he created a fort in Agra that was called Fort of Badalgarh. And Sikandar Lodi, guys, himself was a very good writer. So he used to write poems by pen name of Gulrukhi. So he was a very good writer as well, and he used to write poems in Persian language by pen name of Gulrukhi. So he used to write poems in Persian language by pen name of Gulrukh or Gulrukhi. Gulrukh or Gulrukhi, that means ki just like the flower. So he used to write poems by the pen name of Gulrukhi. Is that clear to all, guys? Is that clear to all? कि what was his pen name? That was Gulrukhi, and it is said that कि Sikandar Lodi. It is said that कि Sikandar Lodi has two sons. One was Jalal and another was Ibrahim. Now Jalal and Ibrahim, they were son of Sikandar Lodi, and Sikandar Lodi wanted that कि Jalal should be the next successor. But what happened, guys, कि although elder was Ibrahim, so Ibrahim gave offer to Jalal कि let's divide the kingdom and let's rule separately and we should not attack on each other. But Jalal has some different plan. He said that कि that father Sikandar has given me, he has declared me as a successor, so I will be leading the kingdom, not you. So Ibrahim became serious. He was also a very ambitious person, so he killed Jalal. So what happened कि Ibrahim, he killed Jalal. Lodi, he killed Jalal and became king of Delhi Sultanate, became Sultan. Became Sultan. So this is how, guys, Ibrahim Lodi became Sultan, and Ibrahim Lodi became Sultan, guys, in 1517. So in 1517, when Sikandar Lodi died, you will find that Ibrahim became Sultan, and the mausoleum of Sikandar Lodi, that is located in Delhi, and it is built in Delhi by using double dome structure. Double dome structure, that means ki there is one dome and another, that dome is a hollow dome. So that is called double dome structure, and it is also known as, that is being built in Lodi Garden. So this is being built in a place called Lodi Garden. So this is being built in a place called Lodi Garden. I hope it is clear to all. Is that clear to all, guys? So that is in Lodi Garden. Now after this Ibrahim Lodi, his son Sikandar Lodi became the ruler, and he ruled from 1517 till 1526. And it is said that, guys, he was a fanatic person. So he was a fanatic person. So what happened, guys, when he became the ruler, so he called his nobles and he insulted. He means Ibrahim Lodi insulted Ibrahim Lodi insulted Daulat Khan Lodi, who was military commander, who was noble of Punjab, and he was a very strong noble, and insulted Alam Khan Lodi, who was his uncle. And why he insulted Daulat Khan Lodi and Alam Khan Lodi? It is said that, guys, Ibrahim Lodi used to call his ministers for meeting them personally, and Ibrahim Lodi insulted Daulat Khan Lodi because it is said that he did not greeted him properly, so he took it as an offense and insulted him. So that became aggression, and when his uncle Alam Khan Lodi tried him to stop, so that there should not be enmity between the king and his noble, so he insulted Alam Khan Lodi as well. So both Daulat Khan Lodi and Alam Khan Lodi, when they were insulted, so finally they decided to take revenge from him. So they decided that they will take revenge of insult from Ibrahim Lodi, and finally Daulat Khan Lodi and Alam Khan Lodi, they started writing letters to Babur, and they wanted that they wanted to invite Babur to fight against Ibrahim Lodi to take his revenge. And finally, guys, Babur, on advice of Daulat Khan Lodi and Ibrahim Khan Lodi, he came, and then first battle of Panipat was being fought on 21st April 1526, and that was between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. And when this war started, guys, Babur introduced cannon and gunpowder. So Babur introduced and gunpowder in this war, and defeated and killed Ibrahim Lodi in the war itself. And he was the first Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who was killed in a war. So was the first Sultan of Delhi Sultanate being killed in war zone. So he was killed in war zone, and he was buried in Panipat itself, and buried in Panipat. So he was buried in Panipat itself. So he was the last Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who was killed in the war and was buried in Panipat itself. So with the death of Ibrahim Lodi, the Delhi Sultanate ended and power was transferred to Mughals. So with demise of Ibrahim Lodi, Delhi Sultanate ended and power transferred to Mughals. And then the Mughals will rule from 1526 till 1850. Then the Mughals will rule from 1526 till 1857. So this is how, guys, the Mughals came in power. And Babur, in order to commemorate the victory, in order to celebrate the victory, constructed Kabuli Bagh Mosque in Panipat. So Babur, in order to celebrate the victory, constructed Kabuli Bagh Mosque in Panipat. So this is how, guys, Delhi Sultanate came to an end, and finally the power was transferred to Mughal crown. So this is how Delhi Sultanate ended and power transferred to Mughals. Is that clear to all, guys? Then do let me know. So here, guys, we completed the Delhi Sultanate, and there we discussed the important rulers of Delhi Sultanate. So I hope you have understood about Delhi Sultanate and their important rulers. So guys, that was all for this day. Let's meet in the next session.